You know, some Christians act like they're on God's security team, checking bags, scanning hearts, patting people down for sins, and deciding who gets in and who gets escorted out. And you know the wild, funny part is, God never hired them. He ain't hired y'all. So why y'all acting like that? Let's talk about the policing of faith. The judgment around music, holidays, LGBTQ plus inclusion, and these performative prophecies that sound more like gossip than God. Some believers walk around like spiritual TSA agents. Let me check your playlist. Let me inspect your holiday traditions. Let me evaluate your salvation based on who you love or what you post on Instagram. It's wild because Jesus didn't police people. He welcomed them. He sat with them. He listened to them. He loved them first, corrected them later, and never used shame as a ministry tool. But somewhere along the way, we replaced compassion with control. And this is the funny part. When you call them out, when you call out these people who are acting like they're on God's security team, and you tell them what you're doing and you're judging them, but they want to say, oh, we're judging righteously. No, you're not judging righteously. You're actually judging them, the way they are, the way they look, the way they act. Everything about them, you are judging them. And my thing is, if you're such a quote unquote Christian, what does the Bible say about judging? What does the Bible say about judging? Exactly. It says, judge not, yes, ye be judged. Judge not, yes, ye be judged. But no, you want to sit there and throw the word, oh, we're judging righteously. You want to throw righteously in the back of judging. That does not make it any better. It doesn't make it any better. You're still judging someone. And I remember Yolanda Adams came out and said, no, she did not come out, but she came out and said something about the LGBTQ community. And I'm trying to remember what she said exactly, but I do remember that she said God knows who he made. And I'm like, yeah, he knows who he made. So I thought we knew that. But it's the fact that people have to say stuff like that. It's the fact that people have to say things like that. Because one thing about certain Christians, they're going to act like your sin is bigger than their sin. But one thing about them, though, they're going to act like being gay is the biggest sin there is. They would rather crucify and condemn a gay person instead of condemning and crucifying these pedophiles. Imagine that some pedophiles be at their church. Some pedophiles were in their home. Some of those pedophiles were their family. But no, being gay is the biggest sin there is. And according to them, being gay outweighs being a pedophile. And that's sad, honestly. And you know, Yolanda appeared on the Clay Kane show January 7th. And she basically said, to sum it all up, she said she has seen everything in the church. It has everything to do with the way you are matured. Her family nurtured us to believe and know that everyone gets to this earth got here because they're God's children. And why would you want to hurt anything that God loves? She went on to say that she has plenty of loved ones who are part of the LGBTQ plus community, from cousins to dear friends, and in and out of all music, arts, and sports genres. She says, I never looked at them as anything other than beautiful people, she continued. It is not my job ever to hurt anyone or bash anyone because of who they are. God is not surprised by anyone he created. He knew who you would be even before your mom and dad even got together. So why am I disrespecting what God respects and loves? Now, this ain't the first time Yolanda has been advocating for progressive LGBTQ plus inclusion. This ain't the first time, and it ain't gonna be the last. And many people found that comment and her statement to be, they were trying to find a problem with it. I'm like, there's no problem with it. Gay people exist. So why are you choosing to sit there and hate on them? Mind you, God is love. And for you to sit up here and preach and teach and say, oh, God is this, God is that, or love thy neighbor, but you don't love your neighbor. You don't love your neighbor. Like, seriously, you don't love them. If you did, you wouldn't treat them that way. Now, let's get on the music, okay? Let's talk about the music police. The ones who think listening to Beyonce. Now, if you don't know, I love Beyonce, okay? I love Beyonce, all right? I'll get to that later. The ones who think listening to Beyonce is going to send you straight to the underworld. Meanwhile, they're blasting gospel remixes that sound like the same beat they're condemning. Now, I remember I posted a video on TikTok. It was just like a little lighthearted joke that everyone was talking about. And it put, let me see. It was about Beyonce's Act 3 album. We already know we got Renaissance and Cowboy Carter. She's doing an Act 3 project, and Act 3 is supposed to come out this year. But anyway, there was this like running joke, like, what we're thinking Act 3 is gonna be. So it was like, okay, I'm just say Act 3 is gospel. So they remixed some of Renaissance with like a church beat. And now that I take out, it was funny because we all know it wasn't gonna be Act 3 is not gonna be no gospel album, but it was actually funny to see how many people could actually come up with something like that. And you know me, I posted a video about it. And of course, the Christians said in the comments, we were having fun. It was good Christian humor. Because I think a lot of people think that, oh, you're a Christian, oh yeah, you're this, you're that, you're supposed to be hard, not all serious all the time. But nah, baby, if you hang around me, you know I likes to have fun. I'm not finna be no hard, not Christian and tell you, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. No. I'm not finna tell you if I'm not doing it. Okay? But anyway, we was all having good fun in the comments and everything. Here go one comment. Act 3 is never going to be gospel because first and foremost, God is not going to allow Beyonce to do this. I'm like, first and foremost, calm yourself down. It's a joke. Like, seriously, do you not know how to take a joke? And first and foremost, God has allowed Beyonce to get to where she is. God has allowed her to get to where she is. And mind you, we know Act 3 wasn't going to be gospel. If you think the country community, if you think they had a problem with Beyonce coming into the country, what you think the Christian community go do? What you think they go do? They go lose their wigs. If Beyonce made a gospel album. Look at it. I already don't like that she was on Michelle Williams' song, Say Yes. They already don't like that. So what makes you think that they're going to like that she made a gospel record? And it's the fact that you can't even see the humor in it. And then you're sitting up and saying, oh, we shouldn't listen to this, we shouldn't listen to that. But yeah, instead of you listen to Christian rap. Remind you, the beats be sounding almost like the regular rap. And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not going to listen to this. Don't even still here and tell me something about my favorite rap artist of mine or Beyonce. or Michael Jackson or somebody else, whoever. Don't sit up and tell me about them when you're sitting up here listening to a remix of a gospel song, and the remix sounds just like the secular song that I was listening to. You want to sit up and police us on your conviction. That's the problem. You, what's the word? You put your convictions on everyone else. You put your convictions on everybody else. You think everyone has the same convictions as you. Oh, I was convicted because I had to get out of there. I couldn't listen to Beyonce no more. Okay, that's you. You have been personally convicted. I have not. So what makes you think that you're going to tell me about Beyonce when just because you had to stop listening to her, just because you had to, doesn't make me going to stop listening to her, because first and foremost, everybody's relationship with God is different. Everyone's relationship with God is not the same. And my thing is, when it comes to whether it's movies or music or anything, I've said this before, if you let something come in between you and your relationship with God, then that's on you. You were the problem. You allow music, a celebrity, a movie, a TV show, anything to come between you and your relationship with God, that's on you. That is not on the celebrity, that's not on the music, that's not on the movie, TV show. No, it's not. But no, you will sit up here and act like it was on them, and it wasn't on them. It's not. For you to sit up and say that it was, no, 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 no. You're wrong. You're wrong. Then there's the holiday police. Oh, you can't celebrate Christmas like that. You can't do Halloween at all. You can't enjoy anything that looks fun because apparently joy is suspicious. First and foremost, I think we all understand Christmas. Oh, read Jeremiah 5, something that they said. Read Jeremiah something. It explains about the tree and everything. I read it. I don't see anybody going around holding hands, getting around the tree, acting like they're Who's from Whoville, singing "Fa Who Forest, Da Who Dores." I don't see anybody doing that. So what are you talking about? Halloween. Originally, it was meant to ward off the demons, but it got commercialized and everything. So you already know how that goes. Oh, they're pagan holidays. Okay, so if you celebrate them, then you need to celebrate your birthday. How about that? And my thing is, we all know what the real reason. We all know the reason for Christmas. Everyone always, oh, well, that's not technically Jesus' birthday. We know that. I mean, some might not know that, but we know that. And here's the thing. One thing about me, I'm never going to sit up here and say, oh, Santa Claus this, Santa Claus that. No. When I was young, a little child, I used to be, oh, where's Santa? Did Santa come? Oh, yeah, Santa did. No. After that, I would say round about, I got in middle school, I kind of like stopped believing in Santa because first and foremost, yeah, I know he ain't real. Like, okay, I know he's not real. But anyway, everyone always, oh, y'all celebrate that little man coming down the chimney. No. I thought Jesus is the reason for the season. Matter of fact, let's change that. Let's change it today. From now on, just don't celebrate Jesus on Christmas. You better celebrate him 365 days. Because some people think you are just celebrating him on Christmas, but that is not the case. That might be the case for some of y'all, but as for me, that is not the case. Hello, somebody. Now, like I said, I touched on the LGBTQ community. You know, some Christians act like love has a screening process, like God needs them to approve who's worthy of grace and who's worthy of grace. But grace doesn't need a gatekeeper, and love doesn't need a permission slip. Jesus didn't say love your neighbor unless they make you uncomfortable. Now this is where I'm finna get some of y'all. You know those prophecy performers? You know the ones who get on TikTok and be like, oh, God told me to tell you. Nah, baby, he didn't tell you to tell me nothing. Keep it to yourself. Okay? He told me to tell you, don't tell me nothing. Hey. People use that as a way to control people, shame people, or elevate themselves. If your prophecy causes fear, humiliation, or manipulation, that's not prophecy at all, baby. That's performance. And the saddest part about it is, people will get hurt. People will walk away from God because somebody tried to play God. Spiritual authority was never meant to be a weapon. It was meant to be a responsibility. Faith was never meant to be policed. It was meant to be lived, shared, embodied, expressed through love, not surveillance. We don't need more gatekeepers. We need more grace givers, more listeners, more people who reflect Jesus instead of trying to replace him. Okay? So from this day on, act right. If you know good and well you ain't living right, don't tell nobody how to live their life. Because you ain't living right yourself. Okay? You want to sit up and tell somebody how they should live, how they should act, what they should wear, how they should do, how they should speak in tongues, how they should shout. You should not tell anybody how to live their life. You want to tell people, oh, you need to be up shouting. No. If somebody is telling you, oh, why didn't you dance with them? You let them dance alone? Yeah, I did. I let them dance alone. Because you know why? I didn't feel it. Like, I feel it, but no, I just didn't feel it, the dance. I feel it, but I just didn't feel it, the dance or anything. Okay? There should be no reason why you're sitting up here getting mad at somebody because they let somebody else dance alone. Sometimes people like a personal praise. Sometimes everyone does not need to join in. Everyone doesn't need to join in with that person that's praising him. Because you know why? Sometimes people's spirits aren't together. And you're trying to police them because they did not dance like you wanted them to dance. They did not act like you wanted them to act. They did not get up when you wanted them to get up. They're not going to have the same convictions as you. Like I said, you stop watching this movie, you stop doing this. Okay, good, that's you. You can't sit there and tell somebody else how they should do. Okay? Now, thanks for listening to this episode of the Christian J Show. And if you ever felt judged, monitored, or pushed out by people who act like they're on God's security team, I'm sorry. That's not God. God is not. That is not God. They're not God. God is not them. That's culture. And culture can change. Faith is not a checkpoint. It's a journey. And everyone deserves a space to walk in it.